Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Crispy Kareem and I make videos in which I say my opinion, I comment on certain subjects and I get things off my chest. And you've come to listen for some reason, so thank you for that so much. I appreciate it. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to this channel, click the like button and share with your friends. And if you don't like what you've heard, then you can condemn me to a life of no breakfast ever, because breakfast is bad and apparently breeds arrogance. According to the person I'm about to the subject of this topic. Now, I know everyone's been banging on about him for the last 2 weeks. I'm sure I've probably got nothing original, innovative, or new to say, but I have kind of, and I was gonna avoid this topic to be honest, because I didn't want to talk about this for the sake of having something to upload in August, because I haven't uploaded for a whole month. I'm committed to uploading something every month, and I haven't gotten my second Ramadan upload quite ready yet. It's in progress, but I want to say something, and I'm gonna get to there in the video, but I want to summarize everything else as well. So yeah, um, you've probably figured out that I mean, it's in the title anyway, but you've probably figured out that I'm going to talk about Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate, the kickboxer turned pickup artist slash misogynist slash human trafficker. I mean, I guess that kind of gives a new meaning to pick up, to physically pick them up and, I don't know, do some really unethical stuff to women and girls, and then move to Romania to do it because it's easier, and then proudly admit to it because, if you're going to be an awful person, you might as well be proud of what an awful person you are. And so, to summarize, this man treats women like property. He thinks that men should be allowed to cheat, but women who cheat have reduced their values, and that giving CPR to another man is gay. So, don't know about the prospects of this guy falling unconscious and then for being unconscious, or, brought back to consciousness by another man doing CPR, with the thought of him waking up to another man's lips on his lips, but he'll cross that bridge when it comes. Not that I'd be the one to knock him unconscious, because he's apparently right if he rips your arms off. 2 plus 2 equals 5 when the person saying it's 4 has their arms ripped off by Andrew Tate. And honestly, the guy's dangerous, but the guy says the wildest stuff that's just so funny. And, speaking of the breakfast thing, I did kind of think about, like, trying to get stuff done before I eat breakfast, because I want to be a productive person. I have done that before, and I want to be the kind of person who wakes up early and I said, okay, I'm going to type, write, do. Like maybe for an hour before eating breakfast. I have time for Cheerios, he doesn't, but, it's funny just reading that stuff. And the way he puts it's like, an animal hunts their prey, whereas a person just has food presented to them. Like, getting out of bed and making breakfast isn't, effort. Like, it's getting out of bed is hard for some people. I think some people truly do earn their breakfast, and that is good for them, especially if you're not neurodivergent and or have a mental illness. Like, go you earned your breakfast, you got out of bed, you didn't commit suicide, and that's good. objectively good. I don't, unless you have a medical need for euthanasia, but not the Canadian stuff. As much as he says downright silly stuff that makes it hard to take him seriously, it's also clear that he's having a very dangerous impact on people, a negative impact on people, and because his videos are going viral on TikTok, where about a quarter of their users belong to the 10 to 19 range. From that was a figure from 2020 or 2021. It's having an impact on very impressionable people, like, and unfortunately there are teachers who are going online and they are reporting that many male students are being misogynistic towards the female students because they are being led on by Andrew Tate, and they are consuming his words without the critical thought being nurtured in them to really think about how dangerous what he's saying is. So they're saying, they're they're receiving his words, and that's how they're seeing the world. And so it's becoming an issue because, you have to be in the loop in what's current. I know people think it's cringe when teachers and adults try to be in with the teens and try to be cool, but at the end of the day, when something like that is having an impact on school children, it really shows how important it is to keep up with social media trends. And if Andrew Tate is the trend, then something is wrong and it needs to be dealt with. And so if what these teachers are saying is true, and I like to give people the benefit of the doubt and assume that they're telling the truth. I know you shouldn't believe everything you see on the internet, but if I shouldn't believe everything those teachers say on the internet, those kids shouldn't be believing everything they hear Andrew Tate says online, yada yada yada. Is it a me thing or is it a them thing? I think it's interesting how many women have interviewed this person, have had him come in and be like, explain to me your opinions, you're a very misogynistic person, come speak your mind and let's discuss it, let's debate. I mean that's their choice. I'm not condemning them, they can do what they like. But that it's brave. Apparently people are also bringing him up on dates and interviews, and it's becoming a way for people to sort of figure out whether they like a person or not, which I guess is quite smart, but also worrying how casually he's seeping into the minds of people. And so I'm glad that he's finally been banned from social media, because I think something has to put a stop to it, especially when it's shown to have such a dangerous impact. Like, it's really, I imagine it's very terrifying for women to hear that in a conversation so casually, and to have the people bring him up not really think about just how dangerous they're acting and how hostile they are being towards one half of the human effing race. I mean, that's just weird. And so we really need to think about how we're treating the women in our lives. But it is important to remember, and I'm sure you all know this, misogyny does not start or end at Andrew Tate. There are thousands of years of misogyny that have been recorded. There's also many eras of fighting misogyny, from the suffragettes to today's pussy hat movement, thingy, to show for the fact that women have not been passive victim slash actors in said misogynistic settings and environments. And I think it's important that Andrew Tate is just part of the picture. He's a very explicit manifestation of the issues at hand, and so now that he's off social media, it's best to go back into viewing the bigger picture, if but also to see what long-term impacts his presence online is able to have, because he might be off social media, his social media accounts might be banned, but what of him still exists? What can he do, and who can he reach out to? I mean, he's still existing in real life, and if he's still trafficking women, that's not great. And you know, as he said, he's still getting the gratification of having those women literally be his property, because that's how he views them and that's how he can treat them, as he says in a place like Romania. I'm just editing this in because I saw this tweet after I recorded the video, but someone on Twitter uploaded this. Andrew Tate uploaded a final message video and it's an hour long. I'm sorry, but if you waste your time watching that, you are truly a sad, unloved individual. And then people in the replies were just getting so mad. It was really unhinged. I'm not going to read any, but I'll put a video of me scrolling through it for a while just so that you can get an idea of what was going on and you can read everything and pause and whatever. I also found it really worrying that this person was receiving a lot of positive attention in the Muslim community because he misrepresented Islam, and he said things about how, oh, Islam encourages the mistreatment of women, and something like that has always been an axis for Islamophobia. And so seeing someone use that as a way of praising Islam was a bit, you know, jarring and convoluted, and I was, you know, shocked. And unfortunately, a lot of Muslim men, well, not a lot, but there were a loud section of Muslim men who found this appealing. And again, the misogyny does not start with him and it does not end with him. And you know, a lot of people had hopes that he would convert somehow or find Islam, and some people saying like, oh no, yeah, he's a bad person, but like if he makes Tawbah and is guided to Islam, it will be great. And you know, yeah, if he changes and stops trafficking women, then yeah. And but like, why do you specifically go for people like him and Jordan Peterson? Why do you not have the same kind of hope for someone who's a feminist or an LGBTQ icon to also make Tawbah from their kafir lifestyles and to be guided towards the light of Islam? I mean, if someone were to try and convert that kind of person, you would call us ridiculous. And it really speaks to the fact that these people, with or without Andrew Tate, are misogynistic. They've always been misogynistic. They've existed in our communities for such a long time, and they've manifested how people interpret Islam and women's positions in Muslim society. And they simply want people like Andrew Tate to convert in order to validate their views, because they want to own the liberal feminist Muslims. And obviously these liberal feminist women get things wrong, and they're going astray from the Sirat al-Mustaqim is you know, reactionary towards the prevailing you know, misogyny that exists within Muslim circles. So, you know, we don't, and we in Islam don't lack role models. We have the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we have the Sahaba, we have the generation that came after him, and the scholars, both the classical and today's ones, that guide us towards the Sunnah. We don't need people like Andrew Tate to show us what Islam is, because he does not in any way represent Islam, and we have scholars that do. So why seek out these people unless you're trying to get them to validate something that is not Islamic, that you falsely interpret to be Islamic? I mean, it's just so wrong. So that's my views. I need to finish this quickly because I've got people listening, and you know, subscribe to my channel, like this video and share. Bye bye.